by this time, if y'all don't know what's going on with the teenage twat lover, aka Shannon Sharpe, then I don't know what planet you've been on, because Shannon is in hot grease. I mean, at this point, the undisciplined distributor of that dick is pretty much damn near out of a job. We don't know if they just trying to buy some time, wait for things to blow over, see how his case goes, and then he can come back for the NFL preseason in about 5-6 months. Or it could be that they just trying to figure out a buyout, a negotiation of things. They trying to find a loophole to get that man up out of here. Y'all see, Shannon was messing with this pilgrim. She was a Coochosaurus Rex.
It's the older women trying to shame older men into picking them. Because see, that's the competition. Older women ain't the competition with older women. It's them young ones. Right. It's them young ones that come. Yes. That'll do what you want. Yeah. Ain't nobody gonna tell me I'm independent. I pay my bills. I pay the cost to be the boss. You the boss by yourself. Them old young one coming with it. They coming with it. Old.
And she was only 19. She was shoving it up her dookie shooter already. I ain't never seen no 19-year-old that freaky. But either way, Shannon went about the whole situation wrong. He was leaking text messages to prove his innocence because she was saying that Shannon raped her. He went and put out text messages. He put out her name. He even promoted her OnlyFans. And people was like, Shannon, what are you doing? He then put out a video saying like, hey, she messing with this $2 lawyer. Y'all got to believe me. It is what it is.
To my family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Buzbee, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Buzbee targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Buzbee want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about. And I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do. I love all you guys. Thanks.
And sometimes, while you know that we know we rocking with you, Shannon, court of public opinion is not the way to go. You would think Shannon would know because he's a veteran. He done been famous for 35 years. And he still moved wrong. And I think that's what ended up eventually having him to sit out at ESPN. Now, some people were waiting to see what Stephen A would say about this. And I must say, when he went on his own podcast, it sounded like he'd rather say, nigga, I'll never be in the position Shannon in. Because I don't do that freaky ass shit. It's kind of like a little bit threw him under the bus, you feel me?
People want to walk around thinking you can do what you want to do when you want to do it. You could your own operation. You don't have to answer to anybody. That's not true. I've had people open their mouth and they've said, Stephen A., you work for ESPN. What kind of control do you really have? This is my podcast. This is my YouTube show. I own this. But if you think for 1 second that I could just do what I want to do, when I want to do it, how I want to do it, and there's not going to be any repercussions, you're clueless. And you're destined to fail and fall on your face. I'm not talking about Shannon Sharpe. I'm not talking about Shannon Sharpe. I'm not talking about anybody in particular. I'm talking about a climate that we're living in. Some people sit up there and they look at me and they say, Stephen A. don't get himself in this kind of trouble. How does he pull it off? Well, first of all, there's certain behaviors and proclivities that you never have to worry about me engaging in. But most importantly than that, I often say this about Walt Disney. I'd rather work for a place with standards than one looking for them. You know why? Because lines are drawn. And I never have to worry about crossing them because guess what? I've got something there reminding me, hold on. You don't need to do that. It's not a silo. I'm not by myself. I don't get to operate in any way that I want without having to worry about ramifications or repercussions. I always have to be concerned about that. So I'm challenged every day to come on the airwaves and think about the ramifications and repercussions of anything that I do. Constantly. And because of that, that's an additional guardrail to secure me from putting myself in a position that could jeopardize myself, my show, my brand, my family.
And to the people that don't understand what Stephen A is saying and don't agree with him, I just have to say this. You think small. You don't think with any type of business acumen. Do you not understand that when you work for a company, whether you agree with it or not, you represent them whether you're at work or when you're not? Now, this is a huge company with a huge brand with a lot to lose. Disney that we're talking about. Disney owns ESPN. This isn't Miko's Car Wash. But I can break it down for you though. Let's say that Miko's Car Wash is a black-owned company. You got a whole bunch of, you hire black. Miko hires a lot of black people from the neighborhood. And then he hires this one white guy who works there named Harold. Turns out that they find out a video goes viral and Harold is a racist. But Harold is also Miko's best worker. He's conflicted and he decides to keep Harold. Now the community is up in arms and they stop supporting Miko's Car Wash. Do you see how that works? Now Miko needs to make the decision to get rid of Harold because my livelihood is on the line and I'll just have to find another worker. And believe it or not, Shannon Sharpe, has he even worked at ESPN for a year? They already picked you up once you got fired. Then you go on live having sex with Michelle. They sweep that under the rug. You suffer no consequences. They got your back. Stephen A has got your back because he's the one that brought you over there. And then you turn around and you get involved in some BDSM freaky shit. And this girl is trying to sue you. You go about it wrong. You offering her tens of millions of dollars. You look guilty a little bit. Things are leaking. Your shit ain't in order. So guess what? You go take a seat. And a lot of people felt like Stephen A was trying to distance himself from him. But recently he did an interview on Big Boy in LA, Power 105. And he wanted to clarify that Shannon's still my man, $100,000.
Because there's a lot that goes on with somebody either trying to get a check.
Right.
And this right here, this does, as soon as I saw Busby was her attorney and all this kind of shit, I was just like.
And we saw what the situation went down with Diddy and Jay-Z when it came to Busby as well. And so, listen, like I said, none of us really know. And it would be really irresponsible to get into the minutia of it all because we just don't know. But in the end, when you see the details that both parties let out, it certainly seemed consensual to me.
First off, I want to commend Stephen A. and I want to just commend our society as a whole because we were at a point a few years ago where you had to just support any woman if she made any type of accusation. And the tide is turning. People are starting to wisen up and say, you know what, man, damn that. I don't believe that girl. And if you don't believe that person, you reserve the right to do that. Or if you want to sit back and wait on the evidence, see how the legal proceedings go, you should reserve that right as well. But some people want you to just go in because she's a woman that's got a lawyer that nobody believes, that's clearly have a track record of attacking black men. We're supposed to just believe them? This lawyer we don't ever see him attacking his own kind. We don't ever see him going at white athletes. They don't have to go through the certain things as often as we do as black successful men. And don't get me wrong, Shannon put himself completely in a bad situation here. He should have protected himself. But let's not act like it's other creeds and ethnicities that's doing the same thing. Hell, they might be the ones, the higher ups in the organizations, in these companies, these CEOs, CFOs, whatever the CMOs, whatever they is, the higher ups, the GMs, they might be the ones that introduced Shannon to this type of lifestyle. Bill Belichick ain't getting sued. His girlfriend waiting it out. Yeah, she waiting for him to croak. Shannon in too good a shape. But I don't see nobody saying nothing about Bill Belichick or these CEOs that be 64. Roger Kraft in the massage room getting his dick sucked. But when Deshaun Watson go get his dick sucked at the same massage parlor, it's 30 lawsuits because of Tony Busby. Why Tony Busby never went at Roger Kraft? Why?
But, I'm not the courts. I'm not whatever. So I can't really touch it because I'm certainly not trying to get sued.
Right.
But I will tell you that, again, to see the great things that he has been doing and to know the potential is out there for all of this to be derailed. Mm-hmm. I'm incredibly sad for him. I'm sad for us as a show because we're better with him than without him. But right now, it's just about him getting his house in order and doing what he can to get past all of this. And listen, we all have friends that found themselves in various predicaments throughout our life. And you can look at somebody, and even if you take issue with their choices and what they've done, you can still sit up there and look at them and say they're a friend. Mm-hmm. And it means the world to them.
And this is the time.
And it means the world to them. And so for me, all I want him and anybody to know is that you ain't going to see me excoriating him. You ain't going to see me disrespecting him. You're not going to see me stripping him of my support. I can tell you what I think you right and you wrong about, right? Getting your ass about it and then turn around and say, okay, how can we help you get back past this? All of that comes with friendship. And I think that true friends conduct themselves that way. They ain't yes people that tell you just what you want to hear. They ain't no people that's willing to vilify you to second something. I mean, I see cats talking about him, and I can't even put into words the shit I've seen them do and heard about them doing, especially in our business. Mm-hmm. And so it's like you just, and then I see the zest with which people are willing to pounce on him. And it's like, listen, people have been after him since he did Cat Williams. They've been at his neck because of the numbers he produced and the success that it had and how he was able to ride that wave. Now, once again, that's separate and apart from all of this. We get that part. I'm not talking about what people are talking about and what they have to talk about. I'm talking about the zest with which they do it. If I sit up there and I'm friends with Big Boy, I'm a contemporary colleague with Big Boy, right? And then Big Boy get in trouble. It's one thing for me to be on the air and going like this, this is what happened to Big Boy. And it's another thing in time to be like, yeah, you see what happened to Big Boy?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? It's like, you just see that and you see a joy that some people are having and going at him. And that's sad. You can talk about it, but we know the difference in terms of the flavor that you're bringing to an equation where you're talking about somebody with glee and joy in your voice when you're talking about the kind of predicament they find themselves in. And that's what I have a problem with. So for me, it's just about making sure that he knows, and anybody that knows how I feel knows that he matters to me, and I want him to be okay.
And there we have it, man. Stephen A. showing his support for Shannon Sharpe. I agree with him when he says that there was some people who seem to be loving the fact that he's down. Jason Whitlock. But at the end of the day, hey, man, that's just what come with the game, man. When you on top, when you successful. He's not only successful on ESPN, he's probably more successful on Nightcap. He's probably more successful on Club Shay Shay. People are trying to do the same thing and emulate the same thing as him. Jason Whitlock, does he even have, like, who does he work for? I see him on Twitter. I see Skip Bayless, and I'm not saying Skip Bayless is hating on him. Skip Bayless has showed nothing but support for Shannon. But, like, the people who were once popping and had their own situation are now trying to turn to YouTube, but they dinosaurs. It's a little too late. So, I mean, that's just what it is. Hey, just for shits and giggles, man, before I get out of here, here's a video of Shannon Sharpe doing the electric slide. I should have known that he was a European pilgrim mayonnaise loving dookie, shooting, teenage, twat loving man when I saw him finishing an electric slide like, huh. Here come the video, man. We out of here, baby. Boop. Like, share, subscribe, comment, hit the notification bell. IG-TheLaFlareLounge.
It's him.